And we're live. Hello, hello, hello. Today's topic is along the lines of some of the things I've been talking about with grief, because if you've watched these before, you know that a few weeks ago, and some of the things I've learned in handling this grief. I don't know that you manage emotions. That's a whole nother topic, but I think it's how you handle them. And that's what I really want to talk about is how can you really, when something hits you hard, whether it is a diagnosis that you got or that a loved one got, maybe it's the death of a loved one, maybe it is a tree falling on your house. That happened to my sister a few days ago, or a sick child. All of these things. Oftentimes we react in a few ways. We may avoid them by eating when we're not hungry, drinking, maybe to excess, and then having to deal with the hangover and such things later. We push the emotions away with food, with alcohol, with work. And oftentimes this isn't effective all the time. It's not necessarily effective for two reasons. One is there's so much of our mind and our energy that is being taken up by these emotions not being fully felt and fully processed. So there's energy being sapped and energy being taken away from what you really want to or need to do. Let's say you really need to get work done. It saps your energy and it also distracts you because it keeps coming up. It's like a 2-year-old having a tantrum, mom, 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 asking for candy or whatever it is, or those emotions are still there under the surface if you don't allow them. And the food, the alcohol, the shopping, the work, those are temporary distractions from what you're actually feeling. And so, we can't just always stop. Let's say, what I really wanted to talk about was what can you do when you still have to get stuff done, when life hits you hard and you still have to get stuff done. We can't just stop the world. We can't change reality. We can't press pause for an extended period of time all the time. Sometimes we can, but not often. For a day or days or weeks or months or even years, sometimes when we're dealing with some of these hard things. And there are a few different ways that most people deal with this. And I've already mentioned a couple of them. First of all, most people tend to avoid those kinds of feelings. And they will, eat when they're not hungry, they'll drink, and then they'll have emotional and physical hangovers later. And they'll buy stuff, they'll get something, that helps them feel better in the moment. But then, like I said, it comes back again and again and again until it's truly felt. Another way that people will deal with these challenging situations is to react or resist. And the reaction could be yelling at somebody you think is to blame. So it might be a kind of a blaming situation. We might yell at people who aren't even involved in the situation because they're close to us. We might argue with reality. We might argue with the universe of why this happened and it shouldn't have happened. My sister was 63 years old. A lot of people feel that shouldn't have happened. And I think that way sometimes too. We may lie about it. We may embellish it. Negativity, these reactions, negativity breeds negativity. And so if we yell at someone, normally any of those reactions are not thought out, they're uncontrolled, they are not thoughtful. And so they tend to create when we're whipping something out there, we're getting the whiplash back. We're getting that reaction back in some way, shape, or form. And so if you avoid or resist or react, you're actually depleting your energy that you need and the focus and the brain power to be able to do the work that you really want to be able to do. And so you're not focused, you're distracted, and those emotions, those feelings of whatever are coming up because of what you're dealing with that's hard are just going to keep coming up over and over and over, and harder and stronger, stronger and longer. Now, that's not to say, I mean, I'm still feeling, grief, as we know, comes in waves. It comes and goes. And other emotions can come and go. They are going to come back stronger and longer when we try to push them away, when we try to avoid them, when we eat and drink and shop and work our way through emotions versus actually feeling them. And so I want to go through a process with you, and it should only take a couple of minutes to actually feel your emotions. Let's say, I mean, this has happened to me several times now, in when I want to sit down at my desk and get some work done. And I have this here not to distract me and make me feel bad, but this is a picture of me and my sister. And, the first few days, I can look at it now and not react how I did earlier, not have the flood, the flood of emotions that, when the first couple after she passed, that photo brings up. But I want her, I want her close to me. And so processing an emotion all the way through is just a simple term for it is choosing to feel it. And so when I would come to my desk and I'd try to get work done, if I did not go through this process, I kept going in and out, 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 and I wasn't getting things done in my work. And there is a way for you to set aside 15 minutes at the beginning of your day, or allow yourself some breaks to actually feel whatever emotions are coming up for you about whatever it is that's hard in your life. And what I want to do is walk you through a process of actually processing the emotion all the way through. So the first is to just, maybe ground yourself, kind of picture and it's best to, I'm standing, but it's best to do this sitting. So let your feet ground into the earth, sit not with your legs crossed, but with your feet flat on the floor, and just take a few breaths and feel just any energy, kind of any tension, anxiety, just floating down, and let it go into Mother Earth. And then just feel whatever it is you're feeling. So for me, this happened to me in the Uber yesterday, in the call on my way to the airport. I was coming back from Nashville. And so just allowing yourself to feel it without pushing it away, without resisting it. And then just close your eyes and feel whatever it is you're feeling. And you don't have to name it right away, but if you can, just really tune in, and what is it exactly that you're feeling? Are you feeling anxiety? Are you feeling anger? Are you feeling sadness? Are you feeling grief? And then really tune into your body. And where is that feeling? So for me, there is some sadness right now. And right now I'm feeling it right here in my throat. And next you want to think about, does that feeling have a color? Whatever it is, first thought, best thought, does that feeling have a color? Pay attention to it, notice it. And then, is it hard or is it soft? For me, it's pretty firm right now. And right now, that feeling for me, it's weird because it's dark. It's like a burnt orange, like a dark, I'm looking at a color and that's really what it feels like, is like a fall, but heavy, dark, orangish black kind of color. And then what shape is it? What size is it? How big is it? If this is here in my throat, is it the size of a marble? Is it the size of a golf ball? Is it the size of an orange or a grapefruit? What size is it? Hard, soft. Is it vibrating? Because that's what feelings are. They are vibrations in our body. Is it vibrating fast or slow? And how does it make you want to react? And just give that. Does it make you want to scream? Does it make you want to shake? What are some reactions? And if thoughts come up in terms of things like, it's not worth it, or this isn't helping, or this shouldn't be happening, any of those, maybe just if you want, you can jot them down. And actually, we're going to talk about a process to work with those next week. And what I find is when I go through this process and just give that feeling some loving attention, just breathe. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning. Just breathe into that feeling and breathe into wherever it is in your body and notice all of the things there is to notice about it and see if it shifts at all. And usually this is going to take somewhere between 20 seconds to a minute to maybe 90 seconds to a couple of minutes. And then you may have tears, you may want to yawn, a friend of mine, oh, maybe that's why I'm yawning, is because, and it's trying to release. Allowing that emotion, choosing to feel that emotion can then allow your body and your energy to be focused on work. And granted, you might have to do this, especially if when something first happens, something hard first happens, when you first have a death of a loved one, when you first get a diagnosis, you may need to do this many times. And what I've found is I can allow myself that time. Like I take time in the morning to do this, and then I can focus more throughout the day. I have energy to focus more throughout the day. And if it starts to come up again, I look at my calendar and I say, okay, you know what? Right now I'm trying to work through this. And I promise myself that when I have a little break in my calendar next, I'm going to allow myself to feel it. And sometimes it'll come up, sometimes it doesn't. And if you keep that promise, whether it's you're in meetings all day and you can't allow this for yourself, maybe you can go in the bathroom and do it. Maybe you promise yourself to do it when you get home. And then as long as you keep that promise, even if you don't necessarily feel it in the moment when you get home, sit down, take a few deep breaths, allow your body to just melt and really see, is there anything that needs to be felt? And allow yourself to go through it. What are you feeling? Where is it in your body? What color is it? What size is it? Is it hard or soft? Is it vibrating fast or slow? And then how does it make you want to react? And if you notice feelings or thoughts that are coming up about the process or about the situation, jot those down. They're just thoughts. And most of the time, it's those thoughts that are actually creating the feeling, or they're going to be the thoughts that want you to avoid it or resist it. So I'm going to encourage you, if you are really in some sort of situation where you're in overwhelm, you're stressed, any of these things, allowing emotions, choosing to feel your emotions on purpose, processing, which I refer to as processing an emotion all the way through, choosing to feel it on purpose can help you be so much more productive throughout the day by giving your own self that time, that attention, and allowing those feelings to be felt. Because feelings, there's a book that's actually called Feelings Buried Alive Still Survive. When we stuff them down, they come back stronger. And so whatever it is in your situation, whatever is going on in your life that's hard, I hope this helps. Have a great holiday weekend, and we'll talk next week.